And so, that's where a lot of people like they get off on that 50-50.
I was finna ask you that. That's
Glad you
right.
did.
And I know we're about to grade close out, but I was finna
Glad you
ask you,
did.
what do you think? Because this has been a big thing on the internet. The 50-50 thing of the man giving 50, the woman giving 50, or the man covering 100% of the bills. What is your thoughts on that?
Unless you that one lucky ass, you not gonna get the woman that you want to be with. You just gotta be that one. And it's people out there, they do it. It is what it is. I'm not that lucky ass. At the end of the day. But what I'm telling you is, if you cannot make that woman feel, back in the day, you feel me? I'm just keeping it real. Back in the day, you had to have rank within a city or a community.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Or just plain out, just be the biggest, strongest.
Yeah.
That's the only way that female gonna feel secure with you. If you got rank, and you should, you got rank, guard, go get his ass. You feel me?
Yeah.
It is what it is. But nowadays, it's changed. So how you think you gonna have a female, right? That's honestly valued probably a little bit more than yours. You see what I'm saying? By her being a female, how you gonna have her pay 50% and think that you're gonna have any type of control or any type of like leverage or any type of, what I mean by control and leverage, I don't mean like evil stuff. I mean like, okay, I have a leg at this table, right? If your woman making more money than you, she's gonna soon see no need for you, right? Because there's other people making more money than you that can do more stuff with her that she may want to do. Okay. And those, that stuff. That's why.
What about though? I gotta ask a question about that though. What about though for some of the men that feel like, hey, this woman wasn't with me jumping in the gym for me to build my empire and coming in and I'm paying 100% of the bills. A lot of times, those are the men that tend to step out. And what I mean by that, they have multiple women. So what do you think about that?
And if she's not worth, like, if she's not putting in, if she's not putting in what she need to put in, like if she's not equating that, and I've been in this situation, like if she's not putting in, if you're doing everything and it's just you,
gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
She's just whatever, right? Then yeah, I mean, at this point, everything's gonna be fully no with me. Like, my interest's gonna be off. I'm gonna want to do other things. It's gonna be something you're gonna see. It's not gonna be something that's night and day.
Yeah.
You're gonna see like, okay, my interest is elsewhere. Because why wouldn't they be? And so that's why some women got to step it up too. Okay. But the biggest thing is men have to understand that you're easily replaceable, more so than the woman.
Why would you say that?
Because, okay, so women get their flowers at 18. Okay. They got their flowers, right? Men 50, 40, 30, 35, 25, 20 will talk to them, right? They get their flowers. A grown man, 18, you get no flowers.
That's true.
That female walking down the street in the rain,
right?
Every car is gonna stop.
Right. She already has value. Men have to build value.
They gotta build their value. Right. Exactly. So that beats up our soul and our spirit, and our mental, and it beats us up. Yeah. It's a beat up, and women don't see that because they've had their glory. They've had their flowers since at 18. They don't understand that, but we didn't. We're just, at the end of the day, ain't nobody stopping a car for us because we in the rain. Because when you either OYN, right? You're YN, you cry, whatever, keep going. Yeah. Or if you're too old, then you're a threat. Right. You're a 30-year-old man walking down the street. Right. Who's stopping for that, right? And so a man doesn't get their flowers until they're about 30 when they're into their career.
I agree. Right? 100%. I agree with that.
And so at the end of the day, it's a big what you call it's a big difference.
Well, I want to say this though before we wrap though, because maybe some men looking at this. My thing is this, right? So what you're saying is, if a man, because like I say, this has been the gender war on the internet for probably the last year, 2 years, whatever. If a man cannot fulfill 100% of the bills they probably shouldn't be dating. That's what you're saying? They need to be focusing in on the career. And
for sure.
They don't need to be dating.
For sure.
100%. That's what your opinion
For
is.
sure. Well, I wouldn't say not date.
Okay.
But don't take it too personal. You know, I've been cheated on. Y'all don't understand. I've been cheated. I had females cheat on me. I'm not scared to talk about it.
That was one of my
I ain't scared to talk about it. I've had females cheat on me. So, all that money stuff always don't matter. But what I'm saying is to make that woman feel secure is a different age. You got to understand, like, you know, you couldn't even travel 200 years ago. Because, you know, me and G in the woods, we waiting for you to come through there. Because we're going to take it all. You know, Millhouse, he got his stuff. We gonna take it. That's how we live. It's pirates, it's bandits, right? You can't move. You gonna move. You gonna move out like gold. There wasn't no banks. Y'all gotta understand, like how it was 200 years ago, right? So how that woman gonna feel safe? You gotta be able to protect her, right? Yeah. Nowadays it's different. Yeah, you might have to protect her every now and then, but come on now, are you really gonna have to like literally physically protect a woman nowadays? No. But what you are gonna have to do is take care of them, right, and make them feel comfortable and secure. Yeah. And if you can't provide that, or not provide that, because most people can't, a lot of men can't provide that. But if you don't want to, then she may look at this as, okay, this isn't a secure situation. Anything can happen. And so she's gonna look toward the more secure situation. That don't mean she a gold digger. You feel me? Yeah, they out there. But in today's society, it's just a little bit different. And so, hey, if you got a 50-50 working relationship, hey, don't change it. You know, do you? You know, that's working for y'all. But what I'm saying is don't come into this situation expecting that from her. Because if you do, you might lose out on the right one, you know, at the end of the day, because everybody wasn't built like that, you know. And so that's something I even had to realize. You know, like I used to go so hard on my women doing MLM that I used to destroy relationships. And so now I don't care if you do the MLM or not. You ain't got to do my business. You know, you ain't got to do my business. You ain't got to do it. I don't care if you do it or not. You know, and so I would just tell people to sum all of that up or whatever. If you're coming in 50-50, then you've literally, out of the percentage, if it's 100% of females that you were compatible with, you've literally limited that down to probably like less than 10%. Because she can like you and ape in or whatever, but when she sees like if you're irresponsible or not secure, what you think will happen?